दृष्टिकी स्निग्धाविलोकिनी भगवती मन्दस्मित श्रीमुखी वात्सल्यामृत वर्षिणी सुमधुरं संकीर्तनालापिनी श्यामांगीं मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरीम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरीम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरी.
Thank you so much, Ranjini. We are blessed by the very positive atmosphere that you created for all of us. I would now like to introduce Dr. Shyam Diwakar, Director of Amrita Mind Brain Center, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Dr. Shyam Diwakar is the Director of the AM IST and a Professor at the School of Medicine, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. He is the Institute Integration Coordinator of a National Mission Project on Virtual Laboratories and is a PI for a Cognitive Science Project funded by CSR, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. At the Mind Brain Center, this research looks into computation neuroscience, neurophysiology, systems modeling, and developing virtual reality-based tools for education. I invite Dr. Shyam Diwakar to deliver a welcome address.
A very good morning, a good afternoon, and good evening to every one of you joining us online today. Welcome to the 8th annual conference of Cognitive Science ACCS8, hosted by Amrita University. As the local organizing chair of ACCS8, I am very happy to welcome all the 600 plus registered participants, the 6 amazing keynote speakers, 30 oral presentations, 61 poster presentations, the host of our fireside chat session, the ACCS program committee and scientific review committee members, colleagues, students, artists, philosophers, thinkers, and scientists today. We are webcasting live on Zoom, and I'm being told that we are also streaming live on YouTube as well. So join me in welcoming all of us during these trying times. We are sad that we are not able to offer you our locally prepared cuisine that included our traditional feast, our Kerala Sadhya, and continental and other themed meals, hot and fresh from our Amritapuri kitchen, while at ACCS this year. We surely miss meeting you in person, walking with you in this idyllic fishing village campus, 150 meters from the Arabian Sea and 30 meters from the backwaters of Kollam. Well, why are we here? We are here to focus on showcasing what is happening in the interdisciplinary scientific world of the brain, the mind, and intelligence. As most of us know, this encompasses ideas and methods of psychology, linguistics, philosophy, anthropology, neurology, neuroscience, computer science, and AI. In the next 3 days, you will get to hear several inspiring keynotes on topics about game-based learning in adolescence, MRI and clinical applications, neural basis of mental simulations, multi-scale brain modeling, an empirical argument that perception is non-conceptual, and humane HCI facilitating social and vocational empowerment. Let me welcome the dignitaries online and with us right now. Firstly, let me welcome Sampoojya Swami Amritaswarupananda Puri, President, Board of Trustees, Amrita University, and Vice Chairman, Mata Amritanandamayi Math. Welcome, Swamiji. Let me welcome Dr. Bipin Nair, Dean of Life Sciences, School of Biotechnology at Amrita. We have our conference chair, Dr. Bapi Raju S., Professor at the International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad, whose ideas and support have shaped what ACCS 8 is today. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Anand Kumar, Vice Principal of Amrita School of Medicine and Head of the Department of Neurology at Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences Hospital, Kochi. Let me also welcome my colleague, Dr. Asha Vijayan, Assistant Professor at the Amrita School of Biotechnology, who is here with us. Welcome to all of you who have joined online from various institutions, locations, and time zones. A very special welcome to the keynote speakers, Professor Nandini Chatterjee Singh from Delhi, Professor Claudia Gendini Wheeler Kingshot from London, Professor Kenji Doya from Okinawa, Japan, Professor Egidio D'Angelo from Pavia, Italy, Professor Ned Block from New York, and Professor Bhavani Rao from Amritapuri. Let me welcome Dr. Vandana Singh and colleagues from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Welcome Professor Vicky Bats of BITS Pilani Goa campus and Professor Nitin Nagaraj from NIAS Bengaluru, who are the hosts of our fireside chat session Neurobites. Our welcome to the 60 plus reviewers who helped us review the ACCS 8 submissions. A special welcome to Professor Narayanan Srinivasan of IIT Kanpur, Professor Krishna Prasad Miyapuram of IIT Gandhinagar, our fellow ACCS 8 program committee members. Let me also welcome the participants of our brain art competition and expert artists who will be evaluating the submissions of this event. A welcome to the oral session chairs, Professor Devpriya Kumar and Professor Pragati Balasubramani of IIT Kanpur, and our poster session chairs, Arati from Amrita Mind Brain Center. Let me also welcome the authors of all the abstracts submitted to ACCS 8. During the next 72 hours, all of us will dive into so many interesting topics within cognitive sciences, and we hope you will enjoy the sessions. We have also scheduled a cultural music dance performance to be streamed online tomorrow, which we will announce later today. We welcome all our Amrita faculty members, staff and students, teams working actively with us, volunteers and local organizing committee members who are making sure ACCS 8 happens without major issues. A very warm welcome to ACCS. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shyam, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to listen to all the speakers. There are many problems that we are facing due to COVID, but it has removed all barriers between speaker and listener, so we can have opportunities like this to interact with these prominent people. I would now like to introduce Sampoojya Swami Amritaswarupananda Puri, the President of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham and the Vice Chairman of Mata Amritanandamayi Math. He is the head disciple of renowned humanitarian and spiritual leader Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, our beloved Amma. He has been living in Amritapuri Ashram since its inception in the late 1970s. He holds a master's in philosophy and is a renowned author and translator. He has written The Irresistible Attraction of Divinity in 2019 and The Color of the Rainbow, Compassionate Leadership in 2014, as well as Amma's biography. He has also translated more than 10 volumes of conversations between Amma and devotees into English, for which he also served as a compiler. He is a magnificent singer and a composer of bhajans and has traveled around the world more than 30 times with Amma in her service. It is my honor to invite Swamiji to deliver the benedictory address.
Om Amriteshwariyai Namaha. Om Amriteshwariyai Namaha. Om Amriteshwariyai Namaha. I humbly bow down at Amma's Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi's lotus feet. Amma is our Chancellor and the whole and soul of all our institutional, humanitarian and spiritual activities. My namaskarams and greetings to all the dignitaries and participants. I'm happy to join all of you on this day at the 8th Annual Conference of Cognitive Sciences that Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham is hosting. My hearty welcome to one and all. I'm neither a scientist nor an academic. My one and only qualification is what I have gained from the experience, exposure and revelations I have gained by being with Amma for the last 43 years. For over 3 decades, I have been traveling with Amma all over the world to 6 continents. While Amma personally meets each of the thousands of people who comes to see her, I sit next to her chair in the role of a translator. However, I must say that my long association with Amma has nourished and enriched me mentally, intellectually, emotionally, and on top of all, spiritually. So now I'm convinced of one thing which I believe is the truth. That is, knowledge is not outside. Knowledge is not objective, it is subjective. It is within you. I mean, the source is within. Of course, we can gather plenty of information from books, the internet, our teachers, mentors, and so forth. Nonetheless, the wellspring of knowledge, which the rishis, the ancient seers, called jnana or vijnana, is an inner revelation. So all genuine and groundbreaking inventions take place within you first before they are expressed externally. Whether it be science, technology, sports, art, or any given area of life, the beautiful and natural unfoldment of the end result only takes place when you are able to create silence within you. You may not be aware of it, but that indeed is the truth. Allow me to share one of Amma's examples. If we ask a guitarist or a singer where the music comes from, they will probably say, from my heart. Or if we surgically open up, suppose we surgically open up their heart, will we find any music there? If they say that the music comes from their fingertips or their throat, would we find music if we searched in those places? No. Then from where does the music arise? It arises from a place beyond the body and mind. This unknown is what we call God or grace. So Amma's example is so clear. But today, in all areas of life, we totally miss this crucial dimension. The mind and intellect, intelligence, they all matter. However, they are not everything. There is a point beyond them. That realm has many names, but they all mean the same thing. Some call it superintelligence, certain others call it eminence, some people call it brilliance. In spirituality, we call it grace. There are also other names such as meditative mind, intuitive mind, awareness, etc. In simple terms, we can also call it love. Just love. The energy of pure love you are capable of infusing into your work. And when you fall in love with your work, a new dimension opens up within you. You will be gifted with a third eye. The jnana chakshu in Sanskrit means the eye of wisdom. Observe great artists such as musicians while singing or playing a musical instrument, a dancer while performing. Look at a painter at work, a poet, a sportsman immersed in playing the game, a doctor performing a surgery. All of them enter a state of self-forgetfulness. If they let their mind wander, if they become unable to focus in that moment, if they fail to forget their surroundings, the people, the screams of encouragement and discouragement, then it will certainly affect their performance. Then, do you think the mind with all its thoughts, layers of emotions, the interference of the past and future can do a good job? No, absolutely not. The mind has to disappear and your love for the job at hand should take over. Here, that new eye, that third eye of wisdom is required. It is impossible to have another eye between your eyebrows. So it has to open within you. There is a verse in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 8, where Lord Krishna shows his cosmic form to the great warrior Arjuna. The Lord says, "O Arjuna, but you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you divine vision. Behold my majestic opulence." So this vision is something that happens within, that opens up within, through which you see the unknown, the beyond. So this vision of pure knowledge is within each one of us. Nevertheless, in order to penetrate into this realm, we need a meditative mind. Information should lead to observation, and from observation comes transformation. You may have all the objective means, but something also needs to be awakened subjectively. Just by buying a bat like the one Sachin Tendulkar used will not help you become him, will it? For that, an awakening should happen within you. You have to fall in love with and become one with the cricket, the game. As the renowned batsman himself said, I am madly in love with the sport. So the mind is such a complex mechanism. It is beginningless, but not endless. You either stop it temporarily, like eminent poets, scientists, artists, etc. do, not allowing to interfere when you are engrossed in your respective area of action. Or you fully eliminate it, like a yogi. Now forget the latter, that is not easy. But remember, attaining excellence in any area of work requires meditativeness, inner silence, and in those moments you go beyond the mind and touch the highest peak, which is when revelations occur. We shouldn't lay our faith only in facts, in logic and in rationality, but also in mystery as well, because the universe is more mysterious than logical. So fact and faith, objectivity and subjectivity, logic and mystery should move hand in hand. And that's when true understanding dawns, or else we will only be gathering information without any understanding. Amma says, we have knowledge but no awareness. We know that we have a head, but only when we get a headache do we become aware of our head. I recall one of Albert Einstein's sayings, any fool can know, the point is to understand. Real innovations and inventions take place only when we transcend the conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and take a peep into the superconsciousness state. India has been a powerhouse of wisdom, true knowledge, as seen and experienced by the ancient rishis. No one has explained the complex nature and functioning of the mind to the extent they have. Today, even empirical psychology going through events of mind or mental phenomena can be perceived as part of Indian thoughts and traditions. Ayurvedic sciences took into consideration both physical and mental well-being and development, even when modern tools were unavailable. Who is a healthy person? The ancient seer, the father of Ayurveda, defines a healthy person as, I quote, health is a state wherein the tridosha, means digestive fire, all the body tissues and components, means blood, flesh, fat, bones, marrow, semen, excreta, urine, sweat. All the physiological processes are in perfect unison, and the soul. And the mental health is when the sense organs and the mind are in a state of total satisfaction and content. Now, what is the World Health Organization's concept of health? Health, I quote, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Similar, right? The Ayurveda, what the seer said, the ancient seer said. Similar. How come? As I conclude, I pray this conference and its outcomes serve as inspirations for like-minded people. I also request the participants and experts to investigate the possibilities of bringing the wisdom of the ancient seers into modern thought and creating a beautiful blend of science and spirituality. I would say that this is the need of the hour. May this conference be a wonderful experience for everyone. Wish you all success. Om Amriteshwariyai Namaha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swamiji. May that vision of knowledge down with us all, and may that wisdom of ancient seers catalyze with science into modern thoughts. Once again, thank you so much for your inspiring words. I would now like to introduce Professor Dr. Bipin Nair, Dean of Life Sciences, School of Biotechnology at Amrita campus, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Dr. Bipin received his PhD in microbiology in 1986 from the Department of Microbiology, MS in University of Baroda, India, and received his postdoctoral training at the University of Tennessee, Memphis, USA, in the Department of Pharmacology from 1987 to 1992. Dr. Nair then moved to the biotechnology industry in 1993 and held the position of senior scientist and led discovery at MDS Pharma Services in Seattle, Washington, USA. In 2004, Dr. Nair moved back to India and took over as professor and chairman of the Center for Biotechnology, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham at Amrita campus. And under his leadership, the School of Biotechnology has been a trailblazer in biotechnology arena for both undergraduate and postgraduate academic programs, as well as an active PhD program at the school. So now I proudly invite Dr. Bipin Nair to address the 3-day conference.
Namaskar. Am I audible?
We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, depending upon where you are participating from. It's indeed a great privilege and an honor for all of us at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham to have this opportunity to host this annual conference of cognitive science, ACCS8. It's a wonderful opportunity for researchers from such diverse backgrounds as computer science, signal processing, human-computer interactions, psychology, and linguistics to converge on one platform and advance and further establish our understanding of the complexities of cognitive science. In this regard, it's a matter of extreme gratification that ACCS8 has been coordinated and convened today through the efforts of the newly constituted Amrita Mind Brain Center. This center, which is an important initiative that took off with the grace and blessings of our Chancellor, Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, Amma, is well set to take forward and establish a steep trajectory of growth in the diverse areas of cognitive science. It was heartening to know that this conference, with 6 international keynote speakers, attracting more than 600 registrants, with over 150 abstracts involving 30 oral and 60 poster presentations, and tremendous opportunity to interact and network. And this, I'm sure, will provide the ideal setting to have a very productive and successful conference. Given the interdisciplinary nature of cognitive science, we at Amrita are extremely happy to host this event from the Amrita campus of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, which is home to the Amrita Mind Brain Center. Amrita University, or Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, as most of you may know, is a multidisciplinary, multi-campus university with 6 operational campuses today in the 4 southern states, and a new campus coming up in Delhi. So a university with more than 20,000 students enrolled in over 200 programs in 15 different schools, and with about 1,500 faculty. A university which is less than 20 years old and is embellished with the vision of providing not just an education for living, but an education for life. With a focus on what we like to call compassion-driven research, we hope to interact, collaborate, and be productive to have a global impact. And that, I feel, is already beginning to happen. Over the years, beginning in 2003, the university has made significant progress with setting up centers of excellence in diverse fields, initiating collaboration agreements, and having a research-intensive approach to all academic activities at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels. I'm happy to share with you that Amrita has been placed among the top 10 universities in India in the NIRF rankings, ranked 4th and 5th in successive years over the past 2 years. Awarded a NAC A++ accreditation, classified as an Institute of Eminence, and making our way into the top 100 in the world in the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. Over the years, research at Amrita has focused on bare essentials like access and quality of water, but also looked at access to quality education, affordable healthcare, vocational education for skills and livelihood, infrastructure and waste management, energy, agriculture, climate change, hazards and risk mitigation, as well as complex issues in biotechnology, neurobiology, computational neuroscience, and bioinformatics. Along the way, the university has recorded several firsts, first in India, first in Asia, first in the world, with cutting-edge research initiatives in a multitude of areas. With over 12,000 international publications, 40,000 research citations, and a large number of national and international funded projects, we are indeed focused on rapid progress in all dimensions. So once again, I'm sure that the 3 days of deliberation as part of ACCS8 will prove to be a very stimulating, invigorating, and a wonderful experience for all the 600 plus registered participants. Once again, I wish we had been able to do this in an offline, in-person mode, but I guess we will have to wait till COVID bids us goodbye. Nevertheless, welcome to Amrita. All success to ACCS8. All best wishes from the Amrita Mind Brain Center and Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham for a wonderful meeting. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Bipin, for those wonderful words and missions. And I would now like to introduce Professor Bapi Raju of IIIT Hyderabad. Dr. S. Bapi Raju is a professor and head of Cognitive Science Lab, IIIT Hyderabad. He was a former professor of School of Computer and Information Sciences, University of Hyderabad, India, during 1999 to 2019, and coordinator of Center for Neural and Cognitive Sciences at University of Hyderabad during 2011 to 2013. He worked as researcher at ATR Research Lab, Kyoto, Japan, in the Computational Neurobiology Group during 1997 to 1999. He was also an EPSRC Research Fellow at the University of Plymouth, UK, with a grant to investigate brain-inspired intelligent control. He has over 20 years of teaching and research experience in AI, machine learning, neural networks, and cognitive science. He has extensive experience in applying neuroimaging methods to study the brain function, and he conducted training courses in India to introduce clinicians to this fascinating area. He has worked on a variety of intergovernmental collaborative projects such as Indo-French, Indo-Trento, in the areas of computational and cognitive neuroscience with multidisciplinary terms comprising computer scientist, linguist, neuroscientist, psychologist, and clinicians. He has degree in BE Electrical Engineering from Osmania University, MS in Biomedical Engineering, and PhD in Computer Science from University of Texas, Arlington, USA. He is a senior member of IEEE, a member of ACM, Society for Neuroscience and Cognitive Science Society. I heartily invite Professor Bapi Raju to deliver the conference address.
Thank you. Very good morning from India. I realize that we have participants from across the globe, and I'm particularly happy to invite all the members from Amrita who have pitched in to make this a grand success at a very short notice. It's one of the unique points about ACCS 8th edition of ACCS conference is that it was sort of conceived and executed in probably the record shortest time. And we had really a lot of help from reviewers, from the members of the organizing committee, local as well as the academic aspects. And here we are now today, this morning, with very inspiring and illuminating benedictory address by Swamiji. And this conference received around 137, 140 submissions, and we had a quick review. People were asked to submit extended abstract, and about, as Dr. Shyam Diwakar said, around 60 reviewers looked at these extended abstracts and selected 90 submissions out of this. As with all the other editions of ACCS, we would like to be an inclusive conference where we would like a lot more people to come and professionally interact with one another. So the acceptance rate is high, but we have 30 selected presentations, oral presentations, and 60 posters over the next 3 years. We also have 6 keynote addresses from very eminent scholars in neuroscience, cognitive science, and different disciplines. Again, the mix of the disciplines. We have a philosopher, we have a computational neuroscientist, we have clinical neuroscience, right? We have empirical cognitive science talks. So it's a very real good mix, and also sort of foregrounds the diversity that we would like to achieve as an association, to bring different people who are working with a common aim of understanding brain, mind, and consciousness, right? And this is in some sense the ultimate frontier for that humans are after. The human quest has been to illuminate how we function as humans, with all the physical as well as the not so physical entities that collaborate to make us what we are, right? And this was eloquently put. I really liked this idea that Reverend Swamiji has pointed out, that hopefully during these 3 days we look at the contours of the borders of logic, going into intuition, right? And the borders between purely rational thinking to the thinking that serves the purposes of our goals and our desires, and the contours between the knowledge and awareness, right? All these dichotomies are not very new for cognitive science researchers. We have been looking at this, and I like the way that it has been foregrounded, and I urge all of us to look at these contours during these 3 days. I also, along with Professor Bipin Nair, agree that how we wish this conference were held in a physical format, right? And I'm also in other forums, I expressed my wish that perhaps we should meet at Amrita again, if possible, next year in physical format. Because this is one of the unique sort of settings for the, looking at all the 7 editions we had so far. Last year also we had an online edition that was conducted by IISc Center for Neuroscience. And this year, and Amrita is a unique venue, as I see that we really miss being there on campus and enjoying the professional as well as the all the other AP professional interactions that conference offers. But nevertheless, let us take make the best use of the opportunity. I again join Dr. Shyam Diwakar in thanking all the organizers from the Association for Cognitive Science, the local team, Amrita's team, what I would say a crack team that has actually put together in a very short time, and all the reviewers who have put in their work at short notice. They sort of agreed to review a huge number of abstracts, and also the participants. Right, we have really good registration, and we would like to keep these numbers have been steady, around 150 submissions, around 70 to 90 presentations, around 400 to, this time I think is a bit on the higher side, but 400 to 500 participants, and we would like to take this as a new norm, and then work to improve this beyond this. And it all started in 2014. Professor Nandini Chatterjee is also on this call. She would recollect 2014. The first edition was in Delhi, and NBRC and Dr. Nandini have really organized the first one, and we are now moving into this 8th edition today. Once again, I welcome all of you and urge you to participate in the as best as you could. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom. And as you said, I'm sure that in coming years, we'll be having a great participation, and no doubt ACCS8 will be recognized as one of the biggest conferences in the field of neuroscience and cognitive sciences. The next distinguished to honor us with his presence is Professor Dr. Anand Kumar. He currently serves as the Vice Principal of Amrita School of Medicine. He is also the head and professor of the Department of Neurology, Amrita School of Medicine, Kochi. He has several publications to his credit and has special interest in cognitive neurology, sleep medicine, and biomedical research. Dr. Anand has also worked in medical artificial intelligence and was a member of a team that developed an expert system of epilepsy. Currently, he is working in memory, autonomic function studies, dysarthria, patient monitoring, lifestyle modification, pace-mind medicine, and epilepsy prediction. So now, let us have the pleasure of listening to Dr. Anand Kumar, sir.
Monsieur, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. A good day to all of you, and thank you, Shyam Sundar, because he has permitted me to deviate from the regular address, and I have sought his permission to use slides or a PowerPoint presentation to convey to you what I want to. And this I am doing because my intention is to bring Amrita closer to you. As we all know, brain likes pictorial language. That's why we like comics and we watch films. So I'm resorting to my slides. So we'll start from the very beginning. What I'm going to do is to tell about some basic concepts on which I'm trying to post my thoughts. Although this is from the Sound of Music, I promise you that I will stick to my time. So let us see what happens during the day. see, we are asleep and then we wake up from your sleep. And then you look around and see whether you are sleeping in your home or in a hotel room. That means that you are aware of your surroundings. And after that, thoughts starts flowing into your mind, and thoughts become actions, and actions into behavior. And during behavior, you may emote or not emote. And then again, you go back to sleep, and in the sleep, you dream. So this is what the brain and the nervous system is helping us to do during the day. So I'm interested in most of these aspects of brain function. And if you look at our interaction with the external world and the internal space, if you look at that individual, he has a sense of agency or sense of ownership or his presence in the universe, and also his awareness of health and disease. If you look at the external space, you have got the objects with its size, shape, and color, and you can have an array of objects. Objects can be in motion and can be threaded, object representations which can be living or non-living, landmarks, geography, and ultimately the universe. You've got the non-conscious external space, and of course the concept of space and time. In the internal space, you have got the internal consciousness, your internal eye, ear, touch, and imagery, and emotion, and the non-conscious part of your internal space, that is intuition, sleep, and dreams. So at a very reductionistic level, you can see that the individual is there, and his genetic makeup and the influence of epigenetics. Then you have the neuron, and the neurons form networks. And in the networks, one neuron speaks to the another through the medium of a synapse or a junction, where chemicals called neurotransmitters are released, and they combine with receptors, and there is an electrical change. And then there's a second messengers which go to the function of the intracellular or cellular transduction, and which again goes to the genetic code, phosphokinase, and again changes happen. So this is what happens at a very basic level. So based upon these concepts, we have introduced a new discipline called biospaciology. I know that your eyebrows are going up. So in short, we hypothesize, or we believe, that space is the mother of universe. I cannot go into any details. So I got the universal space and the concept of self, that is, you pardon off a part of the universal space and claim to be your own, which is self. Within the self, you have got the mind space and the physical space. And within the mind space, you have the conscious manual pilot mode and the non-conscious intuitive automatic pilot mode. And it is very, it was a revelation for me also to know that 85% of the time you function in the non-conscious intuitive automatic pilot mode. As I'm speaking to you, the words that spill out of my mouth, my gestures, everything comes from the automatic pilot mode. And we are meddling with our life because of the 10 to 15% of the conscious manual pilot mode. So this is what Albert Einstein told about the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors a servant and has forgotten the gift. This is one of the main messages of my address, because before that, I will just go to the physical space. In short, the atom, which constitutes a matter, again, 99.9% is space. So basically, the whole universe is made of space, and you are in a sequestrated space, or you can say that you are given a space for lease by the universe. And again, Albert Einstein, concerning matter, we have all been wrong. What we have called matter is really energy, whose vibration has been lowered, has to be perceivable to the senses. There is no matter, there is only light and sound. This is how I got interested in the concept of vibrations, and also I will come to later about resonance. Again, Tesla tells the same thing. Everything is vibration and everything is energy. Whether you want to study neurosciences, you want to study health or science or anything, ultimately everything boils down to vibrations. So everything is energy, and that is all there to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So based on this concept of vibrations, this is a model which I have created, that you've got the mind space with the emotions, beliefs, goals, and intentions, your conceptions, perceptions of the physical world, and the physical world itself constituted by the 5 elements, and then you've got the atoms and the universal space. And the universal space is always in continuum with the mind space. And you are the physical body, and where you are harboring yourself, which is again connected to the universal consciousness. So based upon that, my idea is to study space under the following headings: that is spatial energy, space mind medicine, spatial connectivity, space and social science, space and art, space and architecture, space and spirituality, and of course spatial interventions. Whatever you tell, and ultimately, unless it is useful for the end beneficiary, that is a patient or the mankind, it is of no use. I'm also interested in the concept of human resonance, which I cannot dilate any further because of want of time, and this is not Shyam Sundar wanted from me. And also in the non-conscious autonomic nervous system, which I believe is a neglected part of the nervous system, which controls all your vital functions, your blood gases, your blood pressure, your heart rate, without your conscious mind meddling with it. And also we have interest in chronic stress, not the acute stress. Chronic stress is a silent killer. We do not know that we are under stress. So 99% of us are under chronic stress, which can be detected clinically. And coming to spatial interventions, I believe that it's a neurodivine process that can change the world for the better. I was heavily criticized for proposing this in this particular manner. So I believe that if you can have intuitive mind development programs, because the child mind is pure and intuitive, one can put gold or garbage. And the intuitive mind is constituted by your life values, your domain-specific knowledge, and the contextual knowledge which you acquire as you go by. And this can be trained. And this training or intuitive mind development has to start from in utero. So we are working in fields of biospatiology, yoga, meditation, sleep, stress and anxiety, expert systems, seizure localization, coma, and patient monitoring systems. I'm hugely supported by our sister campuses in Amrita Puri and Etimade. And that is what I wanted to come out of my presentation today. I want Amrita to come very close to you so that we can all work together, because these sort of studies cannot be done by an individual or even a team. It has to be promoted as a movement. So once Amjad Ali Khan, the maestro in Sarod, was asked during one interview, "Sir, what will happen to Sarod after your time?" So he smiled and replied, "It is like music and art, or even science is like a garden. You've got different flowers, and each flower has its own unique fragrance." So as I gaze into this virtual platform today, I can see flowers, all flowers with its own unique fragrance, irrespective of from which part of the world they are. I believe that we all have this uniqueness, our own fragrance. But however, distance are separating us. Even if you plant trees at a distance, just as is happening to us now, we are in different parts of the world, we can still embrace or hug or have a virtual hug through our roots. So that is what I wanted through this presentation. We have to talk, we have to have dialogues, we have to have team discussions, we have to brainstorm. Then only we can progress. And embracing is a motto which is promoted by our Chancellor, Amritanandamayi Devi, that is embracing the world. I stop with the slogan, "United we stand, divided we fall." Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Anand Kumar. Thank you for introducing us to the biospatiology and explaining to us about the state of consciousness in very simple words. Thank you for taking extra time off from your outpatient hours this morning and being with us. I would now like to invite Dr. Asha Vijayan, Assistant Professor, Amrita School of Biotechnology, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akhil. A graceful morning to our most valued dignitaries online, Sampoojya Swamiji, Dr. Bapi Raju, Dr. Bipin Nair, Dr. Shyam Diwakar, ACCS8 Program Committee, Cognitive Science Researchers, Head of various research units in India and abroad, friends, and everyone gathered here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks speech and acknowledge the contributions of those who have worked really hard to make this ACCS8 program happen. My special gratitude to Swamiji, our President and Vice Chairman, Mada Amritanandamayi Math, who joined us for the benedictory address, taking out time from his busy schedule. Thank you, Swamiji, for inspiring as well as encouraging us with your gracious words on this special day. My special gratitude to our Dean of Life Sciences, Dr. Bipin Nair, Conference Chair, Dr. Bapi Raju, ACCS committee members, Dr. Narayan Srinivasan and Dr. Krishna Prasad Miyapuram, Dr. Anand Kumar, HOD Neurology and Vice Principal at Amrita School of Medicine. I extend my gratitude to our local organizing chair for this year's ACCS, Dr. Shyam Diwakar, for spearheading this event at Amrita. I must thank all the reviewers for taking out time in reviewing the ACCS submissions. My gratitude to Ranjini for the soulful chant and the comparers for leading us throughout this ceremony. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Amrita University's senior management members, faculty members, and students who have joined us online from various locations. A special mention to Brahmachari Devidas Chaitanya, campus director, Brahmachari Sairam from ICTS, and our general administration team here at Amrita. My gratitude to the 650 plus registrants and all present online. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the members of Mind Brain Center who worked as the local organizing team for the past few months to make this event happen. Thank you all. We request you to join us for the upcoming interesting keynotes and sessions next 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asha.